Hi guys, welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 6th of July 2021. I'm going to do some analysis on Bitcoin CHSB. Before I continue, the Understanding the Language of Price Part 2 on psychology, that's going to be available this week, so I'll let everybody know through the usual channels, once that's available and posted. And with that said, we're going to get stuck straight into the analysis. So we'll talk about Bitcoin first, and then we'll jump over to CHSB. So with Bitcoin, we've had some favorable news recently. I won't bore you with the details, but we're seeing some positive things out there on Bitcoin. The one thing that I've noticed a lot more is the impact that China is having on Bitcoin price is becoming less and less of an issue. Some countries are just basically saying, listen, we're not really interested, and they're kind of doing their own thing. So this is good. This is good. The less of an impact these influencers have, whether I'm not talking about influencers in terms of social media or just one person. I'm talking about countries, and these people that are out there, sort of anti-Bitcoin. Then the better, and it's good that that divide is becoming wider and wider when it comes to China and what they're saying. We're seeing positive news for the ETF. Bitcoin ETF, that seems like it's probably going to happen, which is a good thing. We're seeing banks acting favorably towards Bitcoin, El Salvador obviously, making it, their currency, and so on. But it's not being reflected in the charts, and this is something that, for me, as much as I read and as much as I go through, if it's not reflected in the charts, then I dismiss it. Okay, I'm aware of it, pay attention to it as a light read, but I need to see it in the charts. Once I've seen it in the charts, then I can say, okay, look, I can factor that into my analysis. But the core of everything that I do is obviously liquidity, as you guys know by now. So when we look at the chart like this, we have this kind of thing in the background that's positive. This positive push on Bitcoin. So that's good. Yeah, that's one less thing we have to worry about effectively. But when we look at the charts like this, we'll jump over to the weekly quickly. Yeah, we kind of know where we're at. Yeah, and we break it down into its simple component parts. Okay, we had nothing here, then we had something here. Okay, I'm just denoting the run up, and then we had a whole bunch of mess to about here. And then we had a nice drop, and now we're getting a whole bunch of nothing again. Okay, but this is the part that was concerning for a while, because after a drop like this, there was hardly any recovery. Yeah, Bitcoin has left a huge imbalance behind, and there's almost no recovery from this last sharp drop. Okay, this couple of week drop that happened, which we're all aware of. So we've just been kind of grinding sideways. But what's interesting to note, and I'll just clean up the chart a little bit here, but what's interesting to note is the way in which Bitcoin is grinding. Okay, so we can see with the current price, this area here, the most important moment in time on the chart that we're looking at right now is this area, and I need to just move this up because it's normally here. This area just here. Okay, this is the most important part of the chart. Okay, because this was the moment where price came down, yeah, and reached much deeper to fulfill an objective and pick up or accumulate liquidity down here. Yeah, before it was bouncing in the same area, around about sort of here, and you can see this just there. Bitcoin came down, tapped into this area. Bitcoin came down, tapped into this area. This one straight through it, much deeper, cleared up an imbalance. We can see that on the lower time frame, which bodes well. But what we need to see is confirmation now that this is indeed doing something of value. Yeah, that we're going to see this shift. I've always maintained that Bitcoin isn't going down or didn't go down on this drop because it was selling, or because there was selling pressure. Bitcoin went down, and as it's going down, it is accumulating to the buy side. Yeah, so it's picking up buy side liquidity. This is what's important, because it's being accumulated. It's not being, distributed. And somebody made a comment about accumulation and distribution. Yeah, trying to be a smart ass, saying, "No, distribution this and hocus pocus that." Listen, it doesn't matter whether you use the word accumulation or distribution, or whether you use the words buy and sell, whether you use the words bullish or bearish. It's all the same crap. Yeah, words are meaningless. What matters is what you're seeing on the chart, and I want to really emphasize that. When I say accumulation, it just means they're accumulating loads of buys. They're just accumulating Bitcoin. If you really want to get technical, Bitcoin's just being accumulated. People aren't selling Bitcoin. You know, these long-term holders, people who genuinely believe in the ethos of what it is, that what's behind it. Even if they're crazy, even if what they're saying doesn't make any sense, it doesn't matter because they believe it, and because there's enough people that believe whatever they believe on Bitcoin for their own personal reasons, they're accumulating it and they will not sell it. They're just not selling it. I know people who've been holding Bitcoin for years and they will never sell Bitcoin. Not even if you put a gun to their head. They're just not having it. Yeah. So you have to understand that as it's coming down, it's being accumulated. And obviously the cheaper it is, the better it is, for people who want to buy. And the faster it's accumulated because people have this, little voice in the back of their mind saying, just buy as much as you can right now because it's not going to be here soon. Yeah. It might explode and I'm going to miss the opportunity. Yeah, this fear of missing out. So when we drop down to the lower time frame, daily, we can see this fleshed out a little bit more. Okay, price and we can and there are some key areas here. You can see that price. As it was bouncing back and forth here, it reached here just a little, and then we had a nice response away from that, and it takes out the high here. This is important. Takes out the high here, and as it starts to pull back, you expect this area right here to hold, but it didn't. It just went straight through that, and it reached much deeper to take out this low, this low, this low. So any liquidity build up here was gone, and it reached all the way into the area down here. Just tagged these two lows. Didn't get quite as far as this low. There is an area here of liquidity, a little bit of an imbalance here, some more liquidity here, a little bit of an imbalance here, and then some more liquidity here. But we're talking crazy numbers down here. Will it get there? Maybe, I don't know. It's not on the cards for me personally. This is the key moment here for me. The fact that it came down and it reached much deeper. Now we're starting to see this slow grinding sideways motion. This is where we start to, or at least we have to start to drop down to the much lower time frames, 4 hour, hourly, as opposed to the weekly and the daily, to try to figure out where Bitcoin or what Bitcoin is doing. You can see this drop. This was that drop that I've been talking about since the beginning of the video. We had a nice run and it came all the way down into the wick. If you break this wick down, you'll see that price stopped pretty much where there's a liquidity pool. You want to know where liquidity is and what it is, how it kind of presents itself sometimes. Just go and look into this wick and see where price stopped, okay? And then price starts to run away from that and it comes up and it takes out this high. So we've had a nice, shift in flow just here. Yeah, as price ran up. It's been holding pretty well. And you can see that it's stair-stepping upwards slightly, yeah? You really want to kind of see it. I'm not a fan of trend lines, really, but you really want to see it. It's kind of stair-stepping upwards, really, yeah? It's a bit messy here. I know it's a bit of a crude depiction, but you can see that it's slowly, in a weird way, kind of slowly pushing upwards. On the 4 hour here, we can see confirmation that price is clearing up imbalances and picking up liquidity, okay? It ran straight through this one. So there was an area of liquidity here and it ran straight through that and it reached deeper into this. Okay, fine. Starts to run away, leaves a small imbalance behind it, comes up, it clears it, consolidates for a little while, then it pops. As it pops there and it reaches for liquidity very, very quickly, it leaves an imbalance behind. Okay, that imbalance has been cleared up right there as price came right back to it. So it takes out the high, comes down, accumulates more, rebalances, starts to run up. What do we see again? It pops. Okay, there is no imbalance here. So it pops, reaches quickly, sideways, reaches quickly, and comes all the way back down to where it popped from in the original part of the pop just here as it starts to release. And it's come all the way down and it's cleared that up. So now, where's the next level? There's only two areas on the 4 hour chart that make any sense to me at all. This area right here, okay, which is roughly around about we'll call it 32,000, and this area up here, I think I've still got it on. Yeah, this area up here, which is roughly around about the 37,000. I've already spoken about these levels before. I didn't mention this one, but the 37,000, which is the area where I'm expecting Bitcoin to want to run to next. For me, this is the key area. It may want to drop down first. If Bitcoin drops, this is where it will stop. Okay. For me, it makes absolutely no sense. If it gets through this and it starts to run lower, then we're going to see much lower prices. But right now, if Bitcoin drops, this is the area that I absolutely believe Bitcoin will hold for now, unless I see something different in the flows, which I'll obviously update you, and then run up and take this area up here. And as soon as we get back above all of this, we should start to hold up here and stabilize and even potentially run a lot higher. Okay. So that's Bitcoin. We're going to run over to CHSB now, and I've already made a note on the charts of a lot of different things. I'm going to focus for now solely on the 4-hour chart and just discuss what you see in front of you here. I've discussed this already. I did send a tweet out about this, and I was discussing some levels. There was something on the chart. It was posted. If you want to see that, then go to my Twitter feed. It's at LockStockPips. Yeah. And you'll find me. I think the link's in the description if I remember. Sorry, I'm not clued up with all of this stuff in terms of remembering what I posted in the description. It's just automatic. It does it every time. But if you go over to the to my Twitter feed, you'll see I posted this chart with a type up, of what I was expecting. There is an imbalance down here, and if price drops, and do I want to say it's a quote me moment? It's a quote me moment, okay? Price is coming to this area up here, okay? 70 plus. I said this, I've been saying this, and for those of you who know and have been paying attention, because I do remind you sometimes, I only ever post when I see something relevant, when price is just about to start doing something. And if you've been tracking what I've been doing up to this point, for those who've been around, and been paying attention, you'll notice that that is the case. I only try to post when I genuinely see something that makes sense, and it's like, okay, look, it's going to go now. Yeah, I think Swissborg is about ready. CHSB is about ready to at least get to mid 70s. Okay, but I'm calling 70 plus. Right, we're seeing confirmation of that. I actually called it while we were down here. Okay, and it's based on this last drop into these much larger liquidity pools on the daily and the weekly. But as it stands, we're seeing confirmation of that. Everything's looking good. We had a nice pop here, and it started to run very quickly for liquidity on this tail, and it reversed. It was just a pop, and it reacted very sensitively. So this price right here was quite sensitive on the first touch. You can see this, and as it starts to kind of grind sideways, it's pretty much erased this last pop. Yeah. So my point is this: if this run here and rejection or reversal, this push away from that level was significant enough to push CHSB lower, we would not be getting this. It would be going lower. Okay, so it's not really strong enough in terms of price behavior and price movement. Now, in terms of what we're seeing, it tells us a lot. Yeah, and this is what we focus on. So seeing a nice little grind upwards, we may start to see some acceleration as it gets into this area. So as price is kind of grinding, we're going to see, or we should see, some acceleration into that 70 level, and then maybe get another one of these where price rips a little bit and then it's kind of rejects quite nicely. And again, that will give us more information on what we can expect next. But as it stands right now, CHSB is looking great, very healthy. And if you remember, I was saying all the way back from when price started to drop and it was going. I mean, look, I'm going to just say it. I guided a lot of people through this drop, and I know 2 people who've got Genesis Premium because they waited and they trusted my analysis. Now I want to really clear something up here. That takes balls, yeah. For me, obviously, I can sit here and say that's fantastic. I'm very happy for these people, and I am genuinely happy. Nothing makes me happier, right, than for people to benefit from something that I'm doing, and benefit in a positive way, and something that could potentially change their lives. So that makes me very, very happy. But it takes a lot of balls, man, to listen to somebody talking the way that I'm talking, and when price is up here, for example, and say, do you know what, I'm going to wait before I pump money in, enough money into CHSB for me to get Genesis Premium. Yeah, that takes a lot for, I don't know if I could do that. Being the way that I am and knowing the way that I am in terms of my analysis and what I like to see on the charts, and how I rarely listen to anybody when it comes to trading or investing, and I take full responsibility for the things that I do. It would be very tricky for me. yeah, to listen to somebody, like myself, who's only been around for you guys, over at Swissborg and the Discord chat for a short period of time, to take, to have confidence in the analysis that that person is doing and then act on that, in such a massive way. So it gives me comfort to know that what I'm talking about and what I'm going through is being used in a positive way, but more importantly, that people have faith in what I'm doing. Yeah, that's I just want to say a massive thank you for that, because I can tell you this isn't easy for me. Yeah, sharing this information isn't easy for me. I always have that, that little fear in the back of my mind that says, you know what? Do you really want to be saying this? You're sure, the little voice is saying, I know you're sure, but they may not be, and I don't want people to get into trouble with some of the things that I'm talking about. And you guys know that this is all educational purposes only. I never give financial advice, obviously, but I'd be a moron, if I sat here and didn't expect people to, see what I'm going through and actually act on that. I don't want people to do that, but it's out of my control. I just try my best to make sure that people understand this is for education, so people can use the tools that I'm teaching in their own trading to make better informed trading decisions, and investment decisions. So with all of that said, CHSB is looking great. This is the current draw on price. I am expecting 70s plus, on CHSB. We do have the AMA, which is coming on the 14th of July. A lot of people will say, yeah, we're probably going to get a run up and it's expected and la 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 for the AMA 14th of July. Price is going to start to run, and this is probably what all of this is. Personally, let's just clear something up right now. I was talking about all of this a month and a half ago, before the AMA was even announced. Yeah, so it's not about the AMA. Yeah, don't fall into the trap of assuming that the AMA is just going to run price higher. Yeah, we should never do that. Always look at what's in front of you and act accordingly. The AMA, yes, it's coming. It's great. Can't wait myself to listen to some of the things that are going to be discussed during the AMA. And the positive news that comes from those, and the excitement that comes from that. I'm looking forward to that, because I'm invested in this company, yeah. And I guess I work for the company as well, not Swissborg, obviously. For the DAO, we do a lot of stuff through the DAO, as you guys know, through the Smart Talk. I don't mean I work for Swissborg. I just want to be clear, So I get excited about all of this stuff, man. I love Swissborg. I can't wait for that to come. But I would never invest in CHSB on the hope that the AMA is going to be positive, that they're going to release something, super exciting, super unbelievable, and price is just going to rip. That's not the way you should be investing. Okay, so I really want to emphasize that. So far so good. CHSB is looking great. Very happy with what we're seeing on the, on price delivery. And we just sit back now and we just kind of wait for things to unfold. I did grab some, throughout all of this drop. I actually picked some up yesterday as well, around about 61, I believe it was. I don't even know, because mine's in pounds, but it was about 61 or 62. So I'm buying this on the way back up as well. I'm confident. I'm very confident now. So with all of that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do it. And share the videos, give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on whether you liked it or not. And follow me on Twitter, because I do post, over there from time to time. And a massive thank you to everybody, that has confidence in me, as I said, and a massive thank you to the DAO, and the stuff that we do over there, because it's amazing. We will have a Smart Talk on Thursday. Me and Ben, we didn't do one last week because we were otherwise engaged. But we will be doing a Smart Talk this week, 6:30 GMT time. If you are not part of the Swissborg Discord, get yourself over there. The link in the description doesn't work because it's only for a set amount of times that you can use it. So I'm going to at some point delete that and try and get an updated link. But if you just search up Swissborg Discord, I'm sure you can find your way in there. We're in the Wealth and Trading channel mostly, and the Smart Talks are on Thursday with myself and Ben. And we go through a bunch of stuff, lots of Swissborg talk, lots of, topics that we discuss. We're always around for question and answers if you want to ask questions. And if anybody wants to, speak to me personally about some of the analysis that I do, I'm always there, in the chat. Same name, LSP. And that's it. So I look forward to seeing you all there, hopefully. With that said, guys, have a great evening, and I will speak to you soon. All the best.